Hi, welcome to Let's Talk. My name's Claire and today I'm joined by Neil and Alix as we celebrate the first day of Volunteers Week 2023. Welcome to you both. Thank you for joining me today. Now, Volunteers Week is a chance to recognise the fantastic contribution volunteers make to our communities and just to say thank you. So leading on to that, why are volunteers so important to us at the Centre, Neil?
Thanks, Claire. Volunteers are really important to us here at the Centre, and they bring an enormous value to the work that we do. Many volunteers are carers themselves, and so they bring along with that their own experiences, which they're able to share and the support they're able to offer to the carers and the families that we're working with across Dundee. And they get involved in a whole range of different ways, and Alix will maybe talk a bit more about that in a moment. Volunteers have really always been at the heart of the work here at Dundee Carers Centre, and we're always keen to try and use people's strengths and abilities, their gifts and talents, to try and enhance the work that we're doing across Dundee with the carers and the families that we're supporting.
Great, perfect, Neil. Thank you for that. So, Alix, what kind of, how many volunteers do we currently have at the Centre just now?
So we have over 70 volunteers, wow. Including full volunteers, volunteers who have PVG checks and have started their role, and volunteers who are in the application process and are waiting on their PVGs coming back.
That's amazing. So what big number.
Huge number.
Very good. And what type of volunteer roles do we have at the Centre?
So we have a huge breadth of volunteer roles. I'll just name a few just to have some examples. So we have the Focus Project, which is a fantastic project where we pair up a carer with a volunteer, and it's a one-to-one mentoring role. So say you as the volunteer, you will meet with this carer as often as you both agree, and you will work towards a goal for that carer, whether it be something like the carer would like to attend a carers cafe, but they've been isolated for a long time and they're a bit anxious. The volunteer would help them week by week to reach that goal. And we ask for a minimum commitment of a year for that, so strong bonds are really formed through that. And we're always looking for more focused volunteers because it's a fantastic way to support carers. We also have our community care ambassadors who go out into their own communities and they feedback to us what we could be doing better, what we're doing well, what support needs to be in place for that particular community. They're really an invaluable part of the team. Without them, I really don't know what we do because they help out so much. The community ambassador role is sort of like a catch-all role. They get to do residentials, they can do group work, they can just help out with really any event at the centre. So that's a great role. We also have young care ambassadors and college ambassadors. So it's very similar in that they also they're looking at their own communities, so their school or their college, and they it's more in particular for the young people to identify other carers that might have not been identified beforehand, that we can offer services to them. So they really are fantastic. Our young carers ambassadors had a huge hand in the roadshows that we put on, and they were amazing. And we identified a lot of young carers from there, which we wouldn't have otherwise known about, which is just fantastic. We also have bilingual volunteers. Sorry.
No,
I could talk about this for days. So we have our bilingual volunteers. So they are also very, very helpful in our communities. For people, for carers who don't have English as their first language, maybe struggle with English a bit. When we have bilingual support volunteers, we can reach those people. We we can rely on them for low-level interpretation. We don't expect them to be a full interpreter or anything, but
every little bit helps, doesn't it, when it comes to that
absolutely,
barrier? Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's also great just having people of different cultures come in, and also having carers come in and have people that understand their culture. All of these volunteers are invaluable, but just each different role is just so important to us at the centre. And we have our group work volunteers who help out with our carers groups. They're fantastic as well. I'm not the best person to ask about the group work volunteers. The group work team are, but I have heard amazing things. Those are the roles that we have.
They sound great. They sound really, really good. And I think you're right when you're saying having that wealth of knowledge in the community themselves is the best thing sometimes, isn't it? Because over the past few years, people have become they're working a different way. They're maybe not want to be coming into the heart of the city to kind of find out things. So to have that information within their community from people who have lived that experience and that could share that knowledge with them is it's great. It's such a good opportunity for everybody to know about that, Alix. So thank you very much for telling us all about that. Thank you. How could people get involved? If people listen to this today and they want to find out a bit more about the volunteer opportunities, how would they go about that, Neil?
Folks are interested by what they're heard, or they wonder if volunteering could be for them, then the best way of finding out more is to get in contact with the centre, to get in contact with Alix here, who will be able to meet with them and speak with them and find out how their experience, their interests could be best put to use and support the work that we're trying to do. As Alix has said, there's a lot of different roles, and we're really conscious, especially for our volunteers who are also carers themselves, that time commitment and pressures can prevent some carers from being able to volunteer if things are too rigid. So we're very open and flexible, and we're keen to work with people so that they're able to contribute if they're wanting to do so in a volunteering role. So if folks are interested and want to learn more, they should get in contact with the centre and ask to speak with Alix.
Perfect. And we'll put all the contact details in the comment section below. So if you do want to speak to somebody, please just give us a touch. You can phone, direct message us, or you can drop Alix an email and she will give you some more information as well about that. Now, I know there's a lot happening this week for Volunteers Week, which starts today and runs to the 7th of June. So people can find out a lot more through what we've got on. Can we just touch on exactly what we do have happening this week, please, for Volunteers Week?
Absolutely. We've got a couple of events going on this week as part of Volunteers Week, as we look to celebrate our inspirational volunteers. So today we are at the DVVA's Volunteer Fair, which is taking place in Just Be, Meadowside St Paul's Church, and we'll be there all day promoting our volunteering opportunities, and there's a whole host of things going on today. So if you're interested, that's one way of finding out a bit more. Come down and see us today there. And then next week we've got an open day here at the centre for volunteers. Alix, I don't know if you might be able to say a bit more about that, when that kicks off and what's going to be there.
Yeah, so the open day that we're having in the Seagate, it's this Friday. It starts at 10. So if you'd like to come along, you can expect balloons, you can expect inspirational stories, you can expect lots of appreciation quotes from our staff, because we really appreciate our volunteers, and it is a very important time of year to show that. We actually will have an appreciation station, so you can come in and read all of the notes from our staff about how much their volunteers have helped them, how much they've helped the centre. We will also be having some external agencies in. We'll have the DVVA, we'll have the National Literacy Trust, sorry, It's gonna be a good day.
Good. Yep.
Yeah,
And will there be some volunteers there as well, Alex? Will they be about that day?
there will be. Yeah, so we have a couple of volunteers who are helping out with our stalls. So we're going to have little stalls with our role descriptions. So if you'd like to come along, if you are interested in a volunteer role, definitely come along, because you'll be able to meet volunteers who are actually doing that role, and they'll be able to give you a unique perspective.
That sounds great. Well, it sounds really good. It sounds like a good opportunity for people, like you said, to pop along and find out more what's happening, especially today as well at the DVV event. Pop down there as well and find out what roles are available that people can get involved in. And like you say, Neil, it could be an hour, a couple of hours, whatever suits that person, that individual. Every little helps for us anyway at the centre. Okay, guys, well, listen, all the best for the event. We will pop all the information in the comments below so people know about all the events we've got coming up. You can also visit us on our website, which is dundeecarerscentre.org.uk. And yeah, thank you for that. And